Heyo, and welcome back to episode 5 of Build&Battle Season 5, our Manor Lords Let's Play, where we're shaping the beautiful and bustling city of Namalia. In this series, we're not just building a pretty city, we're battling the elements, facing down supply shortages, and expanding our influence. And today, we've hit our first major wall. A literal wall of timber. Our logging camp is running full tilt, piling up logs, but that's where all our progress kind of just screeches to a halt. We have a massive bottleneck, and that bottleneck is planks. Without planks, we can't upgrade our homes, we can't build a proper church, and our dream of expansion is dead in the water. So today we're tearing down that wall. We're transforming this basic lumber camp into a truly strategic lumber yard, firing up plank production and turning our settlers' empty backyards into bustling hubs of industry. By the end of this, we won't just have a pile of logs, we'll have the fuel we need to build a powerhouse of a town. So what's the big deal? Let's get into that. Our logging camp is doing its job, no question. Trees are coming down and the timber is stacking up. You can see the logs right here. The issue is, raw timber itself has very limited uses for advancing your settlement. Sure, you can build basic structures, but the real growth in Manor Lords is locked behind processed materials, and the most important one is planks. Without planks, our burgage plots are stuck at level 1, which means smaller families and, crucially, no access to those amazing backyard workshops that can make us a fortune. We also need planks for vital buildings like the church, which you have to upgrade these plots in the first place. It's a classic catch-22. We need planks to grow, but our entire wood industry is just making more logs we really can't use. And the logs themselves are a logistical headache. They can only be stored at the logging camp, not in a general storehouse, and each camp maxes out at 28 logs. Once it's full, your loggers will either keep chopping or go off and do something else, not productive, and the timber just gets dropped off on the forest floor. It's messy, it's inefficient, and it makes it a nightmare for your builders to find what they need when they actually need it. We're sitting on a mountain of raw materials, but they're just poor in everything that matters. It's time to build the next link in that production chain and get it up and running. The fix for all this starts with one building, the Sawpit. This is going to be the heart of our new lumber yard, the engine that just turns useless logs into priceless planks. I'm going to place it right next to our logging camp. Proximity is everything in this game. The less time your people and animals spend walking around, the more they produce. Once it's built, we need to assign a family to get it running. Now, here's the important part. The saw pit doesn't just grab logs on its own. An ox has to haul a log from the logging camp over to the saw pit. This is why having enough oxen is so crucial. If your one and only ox is off building something on the other side of town, your whole plank production just comes to a grinding halt. You can see the potential for a new bottleneck kind of right away. With a family working and an ox ready to go, the magic happens here. The first log arrives, the saw starts cutting, and just like that, we have our first plank. All right, we're making planks, but we're not done yet. We need to be efficient and, more importantly, sustainable. One family in the saw pit is a good start, but if you're planning on doing a lot of building, they won't keep up. Now, you might think adding a second family in the same saw pit would help, but it gives you some seriously diminishing returns. A much smarter move is to build a second saw pit and put one family in each. That way we're processing 2 logs at once, effectively doubling our plank production and crushing that bottleneck for good. Here's where we solve our ox problem. With only one ox in the settlement, if we dedicate it to the lumberyard or sawpits, all other constructions are going to grind to a halt. But if we don't, our plank production will be painfully slow. The solution is to upgrade our hitching post into a small stable, and eventually we will build another one once we're generating some more regional revenue. This costs a few planks, but it increases our livestock capacity, allowing us to order a second ox. With 2 oxen, we can permanently assign one to our logging operations to ensure a steady diet of logs for the sawpits, while the other handles all of our general construction. It's a small change, but it makes a huge difference. Of course, this creates a new, very predictable problem. We're now chewing through our forest twice as fast. If we're not careful, we'll clear out this entire area. For many players, this could destroy valuable berry deposits or scare away wild animals, so it's not a long-term plan. This is where our 2 forester huts come into play. The families working there don't just cut trees, they plant them. This is how we turn our forest into a renewable resource. To manage it, I'm using the limited work tool. I'll reset the zone for the logging camp to clear out and an adjacent already cleared out zone for the forester huts to also help replant. Trees can take a couple of years to grow back, so you have to think ahead, but this is absolutely essential for the long-term health of your town and keeping our renewable forest, well, renewing. This cycle of cutting and replanting is the final piece of our lumber producing machine. And there you have it. We've officially solved our plank shortage. We have an efficient, sustainable system turning trees into the building blocks of our future. If this guide is helping you plan your perfect settlement or gaining some aesthetic designs, do me a favor and help us get this video to 50 likes. It's a huge help and it lets me know that I'm on the right track with this series. Now, let's go spend our hard-earned planks. Up until now, our houses have just been, well, houses. They provide shelter and that's about it. But with our fresh supply of planks, we can finally unlock their true purpose with some backyard extensions. These are special add-ons that let the families living there produce resources right from their own homes, and it's a total game changer for our economy. When you click on a burgage plot with a big enough backyard, you'll see a little icon pop up to build an extension. This lets us decentralize our entire economy. Instead of relying on a few big specialized buildings, we can have a dozen little producers working all across the village. The economic resilience this gives us is just incredible. Think about the strategic value here. It's important to know that building artisan workshops, like for instance the blacksmith or the cobbler, this will convert the entire family into artisans, removing them from the general labor pool. However, extensions like vegetable gardens, chicken coops, goat sheds, pig pens, they're safe. The families continue to be available for other jobs while passively generating vital goods. Any surplus they generate gets sold at a trade post, bringing in regional wealth that we can use to grow even faster. And thanks to some recent game updates, amazing extensions like apple orchards no longer cost development points. So you can get them going much earlier and honestly without having to actually upgrade the settlement really at all now. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm still trying my best to figure out how the affinities affect different production lines in the game now that these are available to us in the beta. Thus far, in my off-camera testing, I've learned that beehives do not seem to actually affect the growth rate of berries. So if you have found anything different, please post a comment below and share your thoughts with the community. Enough talk, let's get this in action. I've got a little stockpile of planks, so let's get upgrading. For the first house right here, I'm spending the planks and a little bit of wealth to build a vegetable garden. Construction starts right away, and the size of the garden and how much it produces depends on how big you make the backyard in the first place. This family will now grow their own food, giving us another stable food source, and honestly, this is a smaller plot. I'm mainly just interested to see how many vegetables will be produced on a small plot like this. Okay, next door, let's build a chicken coop. This costs a few planks and sets the family to raising chickens, which will start producing eggs, and every 4th yield will provide us chicken meat. This animal produce adds variety to our people's diet, which is key for keeping approval high and attracting new settlers. And just like that, with one simple backyard extension, we've added another food source to our settlement, making our supply that much more stable. Look at this. This isn't just a row of houses anymore, it's a productive living neighborhood. We have food and industrial resources being created by our citizens in their own time. Our settlement is no longer just a bunch of people who need things, it's becoming an ecosystem of producers. It looks great, but the strategic impact is really what matters here. We're building a more diverse, stable, and powerful settlement. So there you have it. We found a critical bottleneck, our desperate need for planks, and we absolutely crushed it. We turned a simple logging camp into a fully integrated, sustainable lumberyard that's now powering our entire economy. More importantly, we used that new industrial power to turn our sleepy residential streets into bustling economic hubs. If this guide helped you plan your own settlement, or if you just enjoyed watching Namalia grow, do me a favor and hit that like button and let me know what you think in the comments below. The progress we made today is the foundation for everything to come. And now that we have planks, we can start thinking about the next big step, upgrading our burgage plots to level 2. That's where things get really interesting, because level 2 plots unlock workshops for blacksmiths, bowyers, and tailors. If you're as excited as I am to see our village become a hub for artisan goods, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. For those who want to see it even sooner, consider becoming a channel member for early access, and don't forget to check out the channel merch linked in the description below. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.